लड़कियों को अकेले भेज रहे हो, ऐसे कैसे भेज रहे हो? When I went to Bangalore, that was way back in 2000. And it was a challenge at that point of time. Kashmir se ladki ko yahan pe Bangalore bhejna, I am ending up chasing my dreams, and I do feel that I'm much, I've been happier before, but I'm much at peace right now. I mean, these are not the people suffering with you. But you need to stop thinking log kya kahenge, and you need to start thinking about what we want to do.
Welcome viewers once again to the Middle Class Hub, India's first platform exclusively for the middle class. On this special occasion of International Women's Day, we have someone whose story is very inspiring, and it will, motivate, inspire a whole lot of women out there. And we are so happy to have with us on this special International Women's Day to have a conversation with Rida Sazad. She's, her life, I would just say that born in Kashmir, educated in higher education in Bangalore, now based in Noida, Delhi NCR. So that's her life trajectory. And what makes it so special is that somehow, it's always a dream for people to convert their passion into some sort of occupation. And that's what she has been able to do. So let's talk to her and try to understand her story, how she began, and get to know more about her enterprise. So welcome Rida to Middle Class Hub, India's first platform for the Middle Class Hub.
Thank you very much for calling me over. And as far as my story is concerned, it is, I would say, a bit of coincidence, a bit of grabbing on the chance that I got, a bit of converting my passion into my love for my kids, my love for my family into something that now has become a pan-India job for me. So it all started basically with the love that I have for cooking. Even though I am a physiotherapist by profession, I have studied that. But then I always loved cooking and experimenting with food. It was for me, I've never followed a particular recipe to anything that I make. So, and as a mother, I'm a mother of 2 kids. And considering the kind of environment that we live nowadays in, the pollution, the stress, everything, it was always an endeavor that I wanted to make something which is healthy, which is tasty, which is not difficult for kids to eat. Where the whole journey started, basically. This was my search for something that is healthy for them, where I don't have to fight with them, eat this, I don't have to run after them. And at the same time, one of the basic, or I would say the backbone of my entire business now is something which is sugar-free, absolutely sugar-free. So that is how this whole thing started, and I got the opportunity thanks to my kids. They kind of showed me the way, directly or indirectly. It was my youngest son who actually molded the dry fruits in his hands, and that's how I got the idea that I can do something out of dry fruits. Because as a mother, it was a task for me to feed them dry fruits. And when I saw that they are actually molding it, making chocolates out of it, then adding things to it and eating, that is how the whole journey began. And now it's going there.
So it was a kind of chance encounter. I mean, your kid fiddling around with, what you prepared for them. And then from there you got an idea, and then from there you took it off. So I would say that the main inspiration behind the journey of Shireen Ambarzar are your kids only, because by accident they fiddled around, and somehow you got a great idea. Because
yeah, precisely that. It was like, I was trying really hard to make them, eat dry fruits, nuts, seeds. However, they wouldn't eat. And when I've kept dates in front of them and other dry fruits in front of them, I saw them fiddling and making chocolates. that did give me an idea that I can, besides using it in kheer and porridge and stuff like that, I can try and make sweet out of it and then feed them that. That would look like chocolates or candies and they can have it. So yeah, you can actually give the credit to them.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. And more so in the times that we are living right now, start of the last year and this corona pandemic, more and more people are like health conscious. They are very particular about what they are eating, what is boosting their immunity or causing any adverse effect on your health. So it's a very, I would say, much needed sugar-free, zaggery-free. How you do the binding? If you could share the trade secret for our viewers.
I cannot exactly see the sweets that I make. There are precisely 7 or 8 types that I make, and one of the major unique selling point of my products is that there's absolutely, by absolutely I mean not even 0.1 fraction of sugar, jaggery, honey, or any kind of syrup or binding agent or taste enhancer, egg, gluten, nothing of that sort. The things that I make them out of dry fruits, out of nuts, out of seeds. I do put a little bit of ghee, and I also put a little bit of saffron in them. Now, coming to your question, how do I bind them? I do not. I did have my bit of struggles initially, getting them to a particular shape, getting to a particular mold, a particular design, a particular taste in every sweet that I make. That was the initial struggles where I had to kind of pick and choose and mix the sweets to understand which dry fruit can which seed for it to give a particular flavor, which is appealing, which is tasty, which doesn't get spoiled. These things were my initial hiccup. Now I've kind of overcome when it comes to these sweets. The binding, it was, I would say, sugar, I mean, this anjeer, for example, or dates, for example, or apricot, they do have their own sweetness and they do have their own, when you pick date, it has its own texture, right? So that means it has its own binding capability. It was for me to understand and probably grind it, mash it, bring it to a particular a form that it becomes into the shape that I want it in. So that was the initial hiccup. For me, understanding how much do I have to mash it or grind it or probably mold it for it to come to this form. That was the initial hiccup. And ghee, I like I said in the beginning, I use a little bit of ghee, so that does help me a bit in terms of binding. I do not like you see a chocolate or a bar or a candy or a biscuit outside. They are at a particular. They do have a very consistent shape. My products do have a very consistent shape. However, they are soft, they are nice, they are crunchy, one can eat them. Like I tell to my every customer, I can guarantee you on the quality of the product. Shape and something is, it is there. I have tried my level best to make them look as appealing as I can. However, I would not claim they're the most beautiful.
So now you are, first tell me, what's the meaning for our people from North India, Shirin Yambarzal? What exactly it means, your startup?
Shireen is an Urdu word. It means sweet. Yambarzal means daffodil. Yambarzal is a Kashmiri word. That means daffodil. Daffodil is my husband's favorite flower and mine also. So we wanted to use the Yambarzal because if you see a daffodil flower, it's very beautiful, full of colors, lovely, and Shireen is sweet. That's how Shireen Yambarzal.
So it's a, I would say, full family enterprise. Started, conceptualized, executed the ideas, everything. Ideas came from your kids. Your husband has his own role. Of course, your mother-in-law, she's also quite involved in the whole process. So,
My mother-in-law, my kids, my husband, my father, my mother, all of them have devoted last 6 months to my business and to me. It's like I have my own staff now. Even now, I mean, even though the thing started with my kids, the concept somewhere came from there. Now also when it comes to labeling of the boxes, my kids do that. When it comes to quality check of the material, raw material that I get, me and my husband does it. I make it. My mother-in-law and my mother and my father mash the dry fruits and stuff like that. So it's kind of become a family business now.
That's very interesting. I mean, it just shows that when family comes together, there is, there is never too late to start something because you were happily married, two kids. Maybe initially you would have been toying with some idea to do something or other, but somehow this thing came up, and now thanks to the support within the family, the strong family support, you have been able to deliver all across India. I mean, I believe primarily you are exporting to Kashmir, right? Because the most
Majority of my customers were primarily from Kashmir. It was like 70-30 ratio. Initially, it started with Noida. Actually, it was my neighbors who I, randomly served these sweets to because they had, come to our house. And like I said, I make these kind of things for my family. So when they came in, I do not believe in buying things from outside. So I served it to them. And I happened to have a neighbor who had walked in my house for the first time. She said, I don't eat sweets. I was like, these are not sweets, these are dry fruits. Aap kha lijiye, have them. She ate, she went back home and she told her sister-in-law, who's my friend, that can you ask her to make it for me? I will pay her. So this is how the push came. And then my neighbor, who also happens to be a very good friend, she said, yeah, please make it for us for Diwali. We'll pay you. I was like, I'll make it for you guys. Don't pay me, just pay me the charges for dry food and everything. She's like, no, you are so good at it. They're healthy. They are not like the regular sweets. So please make it. And that is how this whole thing came up. In fact, for the first month, I wasn't even prepared for the number of orders I got. I was like, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is how it is going to be. But then I ended up delivering around 100 boxes. And then I had Diwali orders, and then this word spread, and then I had orders from Kashmir. I had back-to-back orders from Kashmir, and then this word kept on spreading and stuff like that. And I was pushed in a way from everybody who cares about me, my husband, my parents, my neighbor, who was like, "You're extremely good at it. People are loving it. There are reorders. So go ahead, make it." I was like, okay, fine. Otherwise, like you said, I am a happy housewife. I'm doing my, I never wanted to go ahead beyond cooking in my life. That's why even though I did physio, I was home. So, but then when this came up, my husband was like, you are extremely good at it. Just do it. And that's how the whole thing came up. And now I'm delivering all across India.
That's so great. Sometimes you just need, as you said, the initial push. Maybe most of the time, and it comes from your near and dear ones, they encourage you that if you are really good at that, exceptional at that, why not pursue it? And that way, it's like creating not just opportunities for yourself, but also for others. Because slowly, your team gonna expand and you will be hiring more and more people. Now I believe you are exporting to different parts of India, but with the summers arriving now, are there some challenges in that because in terms of
As of now, I haven't faced any challenge, but then I am, preparing. I might be, considering that I do not use preservatives in my products.
Mhm.
So I am expecting I might face a challenge. However, as of now, I haven't. Even though we are we are in March, and I have been constantly sending my couriers. In fact, yesterday also a couple of my couriers got delivered in Bangalore. One got delivered in Warangal, which is so they were in transit for good 4 days. 3 to 4 days is what it takes. So I have got good reviews from the customers. See, the point with my sweets is that I do not use water. I do not use, sugar or anything that would get spoiled. Usually, if you see dry fruits and nuts and seeds, they have a longer shelf life. So I am not mixing or adding anything else to them. All I'm doing is I am forming them in a shape. I have I have come up with different combinations, and I am bringing them to a particular, I would say, a consistency for them to be had, for them to look beautiful and for them to be tasty and for them to be presented. We any which way eat dry fruit. The only problem with us is that it is difficult for us to have two almonds, one piece of walnut, one apricot, few watermelon seeds, few pumpkin seeds every day. For us, it becomes hectic. So all I'm doing is I am forming them in a shape for you. So just take one piece of it. You're done with your daily dosage of whatever. It's not just about sweet. It's also about the daily dosage of these, particular dry fruits or fruits that anybody anywhere is supposed to be having. So I'm just trying to do that now.
I would say, you are a shining example of the government's push on Atmanirbhar Bharat, because in a way, it of course it gets you a sort of financial independence. You get that, and as I said earlier, it's like we keep talking to people in the government, different ministries and all, and they say that, see, for any country to develop, not just India, any developing country, or for that matter developed country, if more and more people, they kind of become job creators rather than job seekers, then that would do a whole lot of good to the whole economy. Now see, if when you started this, slowly and slowly the team gonna expand, no doubt. And I also believe that you are also planning to open a store in Kashmir also to deliver, to cater.
I am planning to, yes, I will have to do something like that. Not only in Kashmir now, I might have to kind of, have, I do not plan to have franchises, because then I would be giving my work to somebody else as well, like making. Here, this is my baby, that part I don't want to take risk and, making. So I do plan to have stores at places where it is maybe one in south, maybe one in north, where it becomes easy for me, especially for summer, because if I have an order from Bangalore to Hyderabad, or from Bangalore to Kerala and Tamil Nadu, it will take less time compared to from Delhi to, So I am definitely considering something.
Okay. So these are in the pipeline. I mean, as you move ahead, you'll be.
Yes, though I had not thought about it, but then yes, with the kind of response that I'm getting, I will have to end up doing something like that.
Okay, great. And if I may ask you, if you want to answer that, like in Kashmir now, I mean, things are changing. Things have rapidly changed over last couple of years now. How is it for people like you, like who are so enterprising, who want to create opportunities? Because even back in Kashmir, when you start your store, you will need people. You will give, like, it provides livelihood to some people out there, right? So how is the atmosphere like now? It's like business friendly now? Things are.
It is absolutely. I mean, it has always been business friendly. That is why, if you see, Kashmir is one of the business hubs of India. I mean, the dry fruits, the saffron, the Kashmiri cloth. It is, the pashmina, the work. It's everywhere. So it is. I mean, leaving the political turmoil aside, which do have their bit of effect. But then if I have to compare an economy wise, I think Kashmir is doing good. I mean, they come what may, the things don't stop there. So, yeah, I mean, even if I have to have a store there, I know it is not, I mean, the termites may have their bit of effect on me. But then I know, I mean, it is going to work. There, the things don't stop. They're kind of used to it now.
That's the spirit. I mean, of Kashmir, of course, India, whole India. I'm saying that never say die. Spirit that keeps help people keep going. I remember talking to a very young boy, maybe into late 20s, owner of Kashmir online store. Now he's operating from there. So we had a conversation. Middle Class Hub has a conversation with him, and so listening to him, it gives a sense that the youth, they have got so much of talent. It's only thing to give them proper environment. Sitting in Kashmir, he has created opportunities not just for himself, like you, but also for others. And now he's also exporting, delivering all over India, even abroad. He's exporting stuffs. So it's all about giving a comfortable environment for these talents to come up.
I mean, I think we as an Asian or Indians are very super talented. All we need is to use it in the right direction all across India. We are very talented. We know how to grab an opportunity and how to, uh, make it work for our betterment. All I would, probably have a message for everybody across, and I believe in myself also, that how do you utilize that opportunity that is knocking at your door in the right direction for you and for others? Otherwise, we're very talented. I mean, if you go by the news every day, you see so many, even these scammers, they're definitely talented. All I'm wishing them is use that brain somewhere constructive, in a constructive manner. So yes, same is the case with Kashmir. A very talented bunch of youth there. I mean, I would say the way, in the circumstances that they live in, very difficult circumstances, yet they sustain there, they survive there, they live there, and they make their livelihood from there. So that is definitely something, I would say very talented bunch of people there.
What would you tell to the larger group of homemakers out there, women who are married, happily married into their life and taking care of family? What will be your message to them? Like if they have to chase their dreams, some unfulfilled dreams, sometimes because of family pressure or family commitments. Because see, that also is a reality that we must be honest about. That many families, many women, they don't get the kind of support that they need, even to pursue their dream and start something on their own. So, what will be your message to such women out there?
For me, I have been blessed. I would honestly say, when my parents, I mean, we were three daughters. We are three daughters, no son. And for my father, it is never. I mean, for my father, he's never thought that, okay, I have daughters. Even though maybe some relatives had this issue, okay, they're only daughters, but my father and mother were like, so what, we have daughters. They made sure we got the education that we needed. They made sure, even though there were a lot of disconnects from the family, oh, you're sending them to Bangalore to study, लड़कियों को अकेले भेज रहे हो, ऐसे कैसे भेज रहे हो? When I went to Bangalore, that was way back in 2000. And it was a challenge at that point of time. कश्मीर से लड़की को यहाँ पे बैंगलोर भेजना, and हमारे village से कोई नहीं गया था, सिर्फ एक लड़का गया था तब. So there was a lot of pressure from indirect pressure from their relatives. It's not safe. It's not good. You should get them married. You should get them. My parents initially, like I said, we've been very lucky. Our parents never bothered about it. They let us do what we wanted. Yeah, for me, I wanted to be a cook ever since I was a kid. But then they wanted me to be a doctor. So they did send us. Then when we came back, I got married, and I will talk about me among the three sisters. And I had told my husband very clearly, I don't want to be working. I want to be a housewife. And he's like, your wish. You want to be a housewife? Be a housewife. You want to be working? Work. I'm not going to say anything. Again, a very lucky girl there.
Yeah.
Then eventually, when he started living with me, he's a lawyer by profession. He's a practicing lawyer at Delhi High Court. So he would always tell me this, that if you were a lawyer, you would be a better lawyer. You're very talented. तुम खुद को waste कर रही हो. घर पे बैठ के कुछ तो करो. So you can. He's always told me that you can be a counselor. You can be a very good chef. So do something. Then when this whole thing started, I did get absolute support from him, from my parents, from my in-laws at that point. So I was told to do whatever. In fact, to the extent that when I got my first engagement order from Kashmir, I was to travel to Kashmir. because I could not have elected. They just gave me a time gap of 1 day. So I made the sweets. I decided that if I send it through courier, it's going to take time. This is an engagement order. I need to. So at that point in time, it was my husband who said, "You go. I'll take care of the kids." So I've been very lucky that way. But then, like you said, not everybody that gets that kind of support. For those women, those who do not get that kind of support, I would seriously tell them, do not get discouraged. Do not first of all, do not expect anybody to support you. As a woman, nothing against men. I have nothing against them. But then, as a woman, be strong enough. The kind of turmoils or the kind of changes that we go through, I don't think any man ever goes through. Be strong enough. We don't need anybody's support. If you have a support, good. Be thankful for it. But if you don't get discouraged. Look for opportunities. Look for ways how you can balance, things between your house without harming your marital life or your duties as a mother. Look for a way, but chase your dreams. Don't give up. I did not want to, but then I am ending up chasing my dreams, and I do feel that I'm much, even though I've been happier before, but I'm much at peace right now.
I know. I mean, the idea is that only, as you rightly said, it's about your choice, the decisions that you want to, as your husband very correctly, and I hope all the women get husbands like him, because, if you want to be a homemaker, take care of family, do. If you want to start working a job or a business, whatever, I'm there for you. So whatever you want, it's your decision. You are educated, you have a reasonable mind, so you do whatever. I am always there for you. So that is, I mean, I would.
Even now, when at times, like I always wanted to be a homemaker, but then now I have a very bigger responsibility on my head, right from an order is placed till the time the order is delivered. It is my responsibility. And there are times when I'm like, I think I have taken a bigger responsibility. Your wish. Karna chahti ho, karo. So yes, that way I am blessed.
Yes,
I
yes.
am blessed that way.
Let's talk about something. Last few, I would say, a week or so, one video has been going viral about a lady named Aisha. She's from Ahmedabad. She was, and very unfortunate incident, because I don't know whether you are aware or not. She was facing some dowry harassment from her in-laws, and she committed suicide. It's a very heart-wrenching, troubling, that last video to even watch. Uh, I have always this thing when people say that there has to be laws, stricter laws. Now, you see this anti-dowry laws, it was instituted back in 1961. So 60 years down the line, still we have a 23-year-old young lady so full of life. She was so fed up that she ended her life. So even I would like you to talk about issues which you think women face at a larger level, all across sections of our society, and any step that you think the government also, the social, the NGOs, they also must take to address that, because making laws is just one part. Ultimately, educating the people about it, and of course, stricter penalties are the need of the hour. But I would like you to talk about, as a woman, as an entrepreneur who have successfully chased your dreams and are planning to go quite big. So,
See, what
other women, yeah.
what I feel is that be that rural, urban, working, housewife, mother, daughter, any form you take a woman in, every human being, not just women, every human being anywhere in the world does face some other issues in life. Problems are a part of our life. They are part and parcel. I wouldn't say that I haven't faced my bit of problems. I have the toughest ones. I have gone through my share of, disappointments, my share of failures, my share of pain I have. And now also there are problems that keep coming up. My request, my appeal, and my suggestion to everybody would be, there is nothing precious than you being alive.
So
There is nothing precious than that. Do not, yes, I understand there are issues where you just want to give up and just want to, but then what is the point ending up killing yourself or committing a suicide or attempting a suicide. This is not going to end the problem. Like in case of her dowry, I do feel really sad for her parents. I could not half, not even half, first 4 seconds of the video where she was smiling. And after that, I did not watch the video. I just did not. But my point is, she was definitely going through a lot. She could have just her father telling her, don't do anything, come back home. You know, when in life we have 10 things going wrong, we need to have faith. Faith in the divine power up there. That if this door is getting closed, there are 3 other doors that the divine power is opening for us. We need to have faith on the one who has created all of us. Be that you call it with any name you want to. I do not want to name. किसी भी नाम से बुला लो अपने अपने परमात्मा को. You know, that is your faith. I'm not going there. So then we need to have faith. There's a plan charted for every one of us. We cannot give up on life, something that is so precious, so easily. We cannot just let it slip away with our own hands. As far as government, with a country like India, with so much of population, so much of corruption, so much of issues to deal with, so much of financial crisis to deal with, so much happening, I don't think government alone can do anything. We as an individual, as a citizen, need to take the charge of our own lives, of the lives around us. Even if there was a stricter law, you know, she used it. If she could not use it, she had her own laws also. I mean, she could have just divorced the man and moved ahead. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या बोलेंगे लोग? But then, I mean, these are not the people suffering with you. We need to stop thinking लोग क्या कहेंगे, and we need to start thinking about what we want to do. As much as, you know, हमारी प्रॉब्लम ही यही है एज एन इंडियन, हम लोग सोचते लोग क्या कहेंगे, एंड वो लोग क्या कहेंगे के चक्कर में हम लोग इतना डर में आ जाते हैं that we for some time want to take things which are not to be accepted, and then when it goes beyond us we end up taking life. तब भी तो वही लोगों ने बातें करनी है. जिंदगी is very precious. Don't give up on any fight till the time you haven't lost it. Actually, keep fighting. I have gone through my share of, you know, pains in my life, and worst, I mean, I cannot probably define them, but if I have to say, I have gone through a lot. But then now when I look at my life, I did not give up then. Now when I look at my life, I'm thanking my stars that I did not give up, because I have a wonderful life. So let's not give up. Let's just keep fighting. We're strong. As a woman, we're very strong. I mean, these laws, these, you know, these police and, you know, law and the NGOs, they will play their part. But if they don't, it's our life. We need to take charge.
That's true. I was saying that, you know, I feel so proud to have this conversation with you, and more so on this International Women's Day. And I'm sure that this, listening to you, so many women out there, all our viewers of Middle Class Hub, they'll be so inspired, because it's like, you know, showing light, because ultimately life is also what, how much impact you're gonna make on others' life. And I'm sure that listening to you, your story, your journey, your perspectives, your challenges, opportunities you created, and also, you know, giving kind of suggestions to people who are going through hard times, especially women, this is going to impact so many lives that I'm very much sure about. In the end, I will just say, keep growing, keep shining, because, you know, women, if women are empowered, any country gets empowered. So this is what I would say at the end. And thank you so much, Rida. We wish you all the best for your dry fruit sweet business that you started. May you keep growing, not just India. Let this sweetness spread even across borders. I mean, to all over the world. This is what
I have sent a couple of them to the US also.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. You know, thank you so much, Rida.
Thank you. I mean, before I leave, I would just like to pass on a message to everyone. It might sound a bit like a lecture, but then I would say struggles is what makes us. I have learned it out of my own experience ever since I was growing up in my teens. So, take the struggles. जितना हम प्यार से welcome करते हैं ना खुशियों का, उतना प्यार से हमें struggles का करना चाहिए. I firmly believe that I make sure that whenever my kids go through pain or an issue, I make them face it, so that they understand it, they welcome it, and when they have a happiness after that, maybe a good moment or a achievement, they will value it. So let us learn to face the struggles and face them hard and give it back. End of the day, when we give birth, this is to all the women out there. When we bear a child, only we know the pain we go through, and when we deliver a child, we know what the pain we go through. When we can sustain a life for 9 months, ये तो बाहर की प्रॉब्लम तो बहुत ही छोटी छोटी. Let us face them, and all of you, be strong, eat healthy, stay healthy.
You put it so nicely, and I can only thank you. I can't thank you enough for this conversation. I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of women out there. And in the end, I will say all the best for your dry fruit sweet business. May you keep spreading your business all over the world. And a happy International Women's Day to you.
Thank you. Thank you.